Hi, Anti-Society! Welcome back to the Anti-Social Planet. Today we're checking out some more Tower of God Webtoon, and am I nervous about the story coming up? Yes. Okay, there's a lot of ominous foreshadowing, I feel like, and this whole name hunt station that we're currently checking in on also seems like it's probably going to be a bad time. However, you cannot promise me Edorsi and Shibisu and expect me to not be excited. So while I am stressed about the things to come, I'm pretty excited to see some of our characters from season 1. We also, of course, had Tiny-kun as well, causing havoc as he should. The difference in the translation threw me off for a second. I'm sorry. I like how unimpressed. Love it. Love it. Let's go. New story arc. Oh no, is there a teddy bear? Yeah, a lot of them were like, hey, we can beat up these newcomers. I don't think Ran feels bad for anybody, to be honest. Yeah, there's definitely gonna be some trouble. Also, the fact that it's name hunt and people are shouting names feels like it's probably going to be important. Yes, get Rachel. I am team whoever wants to make her have a bad day. Oh, thank you for letting us know about that. Look, there's a lot happening right now. I like how Ran is so ready for violence. Oh, the cute little angry face. This one's just having a good time. Do we have to fight them? Maybe they are friend-shaped. Dang, boy. Oh, look, they're all toppling off. Wait, what if they are friend-shaped? Shibisu's like, dang. Yeah, and Dorsey's entertained. The fact that they both have their face in shadow, though. Look, I feel like Shibisu and Edorsi are an unlikely pairing, but also the two of them together, diabolical. You know what I mean? I'm a little bit worried about what they might come up with. Of course, it's not just a simple station. Why would? Look at Hats in his outfit. Cutie pie. Always sleeping. 2 princesses, plus another one en route. It's gonna be interesting. Oh, hello. Hess. Ooh, you have creepy eyes. Hello. I'm assuming you're gonna be our big bad for a little bit? Yeah, I felt like we were gonna deal with the whole hunt thing. Names, what have you. Good job, everybody. Yeah, he also seemed friend-shaped. I'm with you, Rock. Oh, his cute little face, though. Rock's so offended. He's just like, that guardian looked just like me. Don't you feel bad? And they're like, not really. I didn't really think about it. He's, what do you mean? I think the fact that y'all are like, that was easy. We can rest now. You're just calling in something bad to happen. There is something special about him. Yes, correct. Oh, hello. Seems a little bit more gruesome than what we were dealing with before. I just like Rachel so much. I'm this close to just cussing her out just whenever I feel like it. You know what? Probably just stay on Patreon, but she does get under my skin. See, that's what I'm saying, okay? I also was he didn't say he would be your subordinate, okay? He said that you were of use to him at the moment. Don't get it twisted. Rachel, telling anyone that they have a flawed personality is a bit hypocritical. Just a tad. Yes, he's the one who's going to screw this up, honestly. I like the good work, kids. Didn't we already establish that we're all going? Did we already do that? You don't have to come with us? Wasn't that when Daniel was like, no thanks? Oh, cutie pies. Protect them. It sounds interesting. I'll go. Oh, okay. I'd like to, but I have to stay here. At this point, I feel like a lot of them have too much invested. They're like me. I'm too far gone to not keep going. I don't want to go to the floor of death either, but I'm in it now. Oh, steal the name. Okay, so Kaiser, right? Look at Rock's little side eye. So angry. I love him. Okay, we got a D class. Gotcha. Of course it's strong. Oh, hello. You seem cuddly. Cool, cool. Why do we steal names? Yeah, thank you for asking the question about stealing names. Ah, so if you got someone one of the great families, right? You get someone with a name Kun, that you might want to take that, right? Yeah, it was we got one of the 10 families is going to be a bit of a prize, right? Because that name has so much weight behind it. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm he has also, 1, he has never lost, but 2, he's also never left the station. So I feel like anyone who's stagnant for a long time in the tower, I'm oh, so you couldn't hold out, could you? You got stuck here, with the exception of a few people, right? White got locked up, that's a little bit different, as opposed to people who are I'm gonna stay on this floor because progressing is not something that I can accomplish. Cool. And I'm assuming we won't be getting help, because having a ranker would be cheating. Oh yeah, no, we also want to keep the ticket. Yeah, y'all were we get to rest, and I was no, you don't. I also feel y'all saying, I hope he's not psycho. Why did you put that out there? Now that's exactly what's gonna be. The little picture that they had in all the shadows, he didn't exactly look like the most stable person we've met. Yet there are some things that you were supposed to be doing. Agreed. The guy with the training, right? We were supposed to finish the training. Is that what we're talking about? Yes, thank you. I was wondering if we get back to that, or if we would get back to that. We only have a couple days though, so I guess crunch time again. Poor little things. Looks unimpressed. Yeah, the fact that there's kid and then you can see some of the scratchy line work and just hints of his power coming out. He's not gonna like that very much. All right, yes. Are we gonna do the Guardian again? So there was a whole Revolution Road thing. Yeah, I mean, we got some newfangled powers now with some super speed. Yeah, of course I promised though, so I have to show up. Talk about no rest though. Like he was literally like just sat down and he was like, oh dang, I have somewhere to be. I don't know if you will be fine on your own. They have separation anxiety. I just feel like that's ominous too. You know what I mean? Like you don't say that if it's okay, if it's gonna work out fine. Yeah, control, meditation, grounding. Someone who was named kid, definitely. That's what happened. Always ready for violence. Always. Just a little ball of rage. You're gonna regret it. Like we had Edorsi being like, hey, use up that much power before you even get into the main part of the station. You're gonna regret it. We've seen that before where he's, I don't know if I have what it takes to keep summoning the same power, right? Like we've seen him have to manage that in previous settings. No, we got some grounding stuff going on. That's terrifying. Yeah, good question. Okay. Yeah, I was like, we got some grounding because electricity. The Dirt Man. I'm sure you're very scary, but that's quite a title. Descriptive. So at least you got that. 10 bosses. Dang. No comment on those particular translations. Yes, who's your little friend with the creepy eyes? Wow. Look at you go. Not every attack. I love how everyone's just like, what do you mean hunting names? What is that? What is that about? Mostly she yells things and tells us not to call her Miss Bunny. On strike. Yes. I understand the basics. At least we know where the guy's chambers are. Where the named stay. Unnamed. Cool. So I'm assuming like Edorsi and Shibisu and Hats were in the like named part? Current. Gotcha. And that's where we're like getting past, I'm assuming. Thank you for the map. Okay. Gotcha. Those are the most names are the bosses. Yes. That's where we're going. He has not met the rage of Tiny Kun. The deadpan of like, great explanation. Oh, are you the only one that doesn't? So we're a little salty. Dang, we're powering up. We're going Super Saiyan. I do think it's interesting that like the idea of the power of a name, right? Which we've already had with just like the great families or the lineage behind it, even going into Violet and some of the like myths around him and like the name being stolen, right? We had the one group where they were like pretending to be Violet because there was a certain power behind that name, right? So there's been so many moments throughout the series in which the name itself has its own power, and I think that is interesting to then incorporate this mechanic into how one of the floors works, right? It's not the person, it's the name, right? Like the power of being part of the Kun family or the Ha family or whatever, right? The weight behind that name means so much. And even Bomb as a character, right? Like he is Bomb, he is Violet, he is also neither, because those are like names given to him. It's so interesting to bring that into the forefront of this particular mechanic this late in the series and to play off of, is it the name or is it the person? Is it the prestige or the lineage, or is it like the individual with that name? And like how one can lose that if they don't measure up, especially with the families. With the 10 families, if you don't measure up, you get kicked out, right? Like you get disowned because there's like a certain competitiveness to it, right? Like even the princesses of Jihad are like, you either live up to the name or there are like dire consequences for it. Everyone's like, hey, can we chill? Can we not go full throttle on entry level for this station? Maybe? See, Super Saiyan, I told you. Dang, that shot like behind him, he is fast yet. And all the insults in the middle of what we're doing. Will it work though? Because we've already established the like lightning versus dirt conundrum. And it's just like wham, whack, swoosh. He's trying though, but again, I think this kind of goes into some of the problems that we've had with Ran and his fighting style, not just the, oh, if he uses up too much power, how does he manage that? And we've had like moments throughout the series where he's used too much of his powers and then had to compensate for that afterwards because he went all out. But also he's used to just being able to throw a bunch of power at his attacks or whoever he's fighting and have that work out for him. And now if we give him a challenge of that's not going to be enough, how does he compensate for that? Like we had with when he fought Anak, right? Suddenly it was someone he couldn't just plow through and not have to like put in a bunch of effort. And that's where we saw a lot more of him having to be more strategic in the way that he managed his power and ability and like energy levels, right? I think that this is going into his kind of hot-headedness and impulsive, just run forward and everything will work out, because for a long time it did. So I think that it's interesting to see like how he continues to have to shift his thinking and like strategy, especially as we get like Anak introduced again into the story, that he's still struggling with a lot of those things. Boy's not even taking a breath. He's just like one attack after the other, ignoring reality a little bit. Yeah. Like I was saying, like he has to figure out how to manage, right? Because just having a tremendous amount of power is not always enough. Sometimes you have to be strategic about it. And there's like a time limit. Dang, boy. Like, no, it's like, nah, it's fine. Yeah. He has put in a lot of work too. I think that's also part of it. And I like I was saying, like he's still struggling with some of the same like basic things, but I like that in a lot of ways. Like fundamentally part of who he is that he's willing to train really hard, but he also has like a certain attitude to him. He also has this like impulsive, hot-headed side to him. He's like a bit younger, not gonna call him kid, right? But the energy that Ran has as a character is still like true to him, even though he has changed and progressed and grown as a character. But it's not like a complete 180 in his personality, right? Like he still has a lot of those same things, and yet he's still like progressing, right? So I think that there is a chance that he can manage it. He can figure it out. It's just that it's something that he isn't picking up right away because it goes against like the foundation of who he is as a person, right? To like doubt himself or to hold back. That's just not part of who he is. It's like, how does he manage or counter that enough that he can like still succeed in what he's trying to accomplish? Yeah, every time a defeat happens, it keeps him up at night. Oh, we got a new power unlocked? Look, it's like, I had to try this out, but you know what? Better now than never. The test subject. Why is this so intimidating? Yeah, it was like, it looked like we were making almost like a chain or a rope or something. Okay, so we're just powering it up? Whoa. No, we're powering it up. Yeah. It's like a huge disc. I like how he's like, so like you might have an advantage, but at a certain point, you're gonna hit your limit. So let's see who hits their limit first, you or me. It's like a game of chicken. Oof, caught in the crossfire. He's not great about considering his surroundings when he attacks either. Dang. Boy, chill is an option. The confidence, though. The confidence. It looks like you couldn't handle it. He is terrifying, but also, like, how much energy did that use? I like how they're just amused. Just, like, watching and be like, interesting. Are you the one we're gonna have to defeat, or are you one of the other ones? Oh, yeah, no, you're the one. Whoa, the, like, gold detailing? Assuming you're this person down here. Interesting. Everyone a little bit interested. Like, not just taking down one of the more powerful hunters or, like, name hunters that is here, but also, again, one of the 10 families, right? Those names have a lot of weight behind them. So for a place where names are kind of like the currency or like the power level, you're going to want that they're going to be interested in that, right? I think it's really interesting to have a whole concept around names. Like I was saying, there's so much buildup of the power of names and how much weight that they hold, especially as we lean into some of the world building of all of these names that we've heard of, right? Kind of these legendary people and these people who have all of this kind of talk around them, right? From like rankers and irregulars and all of that, right? There's so many names that like we hear them and people like quake a little bit because of all like the stories and things that people have said about them. So I love bringing in some of that, even going into everything with like white and kind of the religious imagery with that, and like creating religions in order to cause like nationwide conflicts, right? Have two nations fighting against each other. There's a lot of power in names when it comes to like religious or spiritual beliefs as well. So I think that it's interesting to bring that into the whole concept of the name being more important than the actual person who holds it. And even Rand being like, you can't just take my name. I'm not particularly attached to it, but I understand the amount of like prestige and power and influence that comes along with having like being a member of the Kun family and like carrying that name. If you're going to do that, you have to earn it, right? Like you have to measure up to that power. You can't just have the name, right? And I think that goes back to what I was saying about like with the families, like you'll be disowned if you don't fit in to what they want, if you can't measure up, if you can't keep up with everything that's going on. So it's not just a name, it's also how do you keep it? So I think that's interesting to bring that in, especially with someone like Bum as our main protagonist, someone whose name has been ambiguous and all over the place, and there's like lots of different names, and trying to figure out like who is he, right? Some people call him Bum, some people call him VLA. There's a lot of like different things that go along with both of those names and what they mean and the origins of them and like who gave them to him, right? So I think that there's a lot of interesting things within the series of just what is a name and what is the power behind it, and even going back to the workshops and stuff with Oryang, right? Of being given a name was such an important thing. It was like humanizing, right? For him and like Casino to have names and to own those names and to be seen more as like people because of those instead of a number, right? So I think that it's really interesting to just have a whole section that's just going to be like focused on like the power of names and like the influence behind what it means to have those. So I think that's going to be interesting, especially as we get into more of the characters and like pull apart the dynamics. And it's been since the workshop battle since we've seen like a lot of these characters in the same place, so it's going to be fun to see what they've been up to, what they've been doing, and some of the interactions between them. So I hope you enjoyed reading that along with me. You can click this place to go to my previous reactions, or you can subscribe so you don't miss the next time I post a Tower of God video, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.